Hello, everyone. Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today it's another exciting episode of Artist Interviews. Today I'm sitting with Thought Beans. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a nice, beautiful day outside. You know, the weather's nice. How is it up where you're at?
It's also pretty nice today. It's nice and breezy, sunny. It's good old Northern California weather.
That's nice. That's nice. You know, I mean, with everything going on right now and everything happening in the world, you know, it's the little things. It's the little things like the nice, beautiful weather out there, and that's what's important right now.
Exactly. I agree.
So today we're going to ask you a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. Are you ready to get into it?
Yes, let's do it.
What are three of your most memorable moments from your musical career?
I'll have to say that my three most memorable moments, one of them is when my music appeared in television and film. It was featured in a few indie films, and my music also appeared on quite a few shows from This Is Us to shows on NBC to Disney. And this is actually all the music stuff that I did that's not Thought Beings, which leads me to my next memorable moment was when I decided to but decided I wanted to make music fun again and not just work. And so I formed Thought Beings with some friends for the purpose of just being silly and making fun 80s music, just for the hell of it, just to be fun. We were all 80s synthwave lovers, and so we just said, let's do this. And then, much to our surprise, our third most memorable moment was when we put out our first single, and it got picked up by New Retro Wave. And that for us was like, okay, this was just for fun, but wow, this is big. There's a huge promotion from New Retro Wave, and they pretty much promoted our whole first album, which is something I'll never forget.
Oh, those are some pretty memorable moments. I mean, I did not know that about you. I didn't know that you composed for TV and film. I mean, that's some amazing stuff right there, you know, and moving into you guys becoming a fully functional band, and then, you know, having, you know, New Retro Wave pick you up. I mean, that, you know, like putting that stuff out on that channel was, you know, I mean, I'm sure that was like you had one of those moments where you're like, oh crap, things that I'm making, because, you know, I just love this stuff. I just love this little style of music. I didn't know that it was probably going to go or make it as big as it did, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were just doing this for fun, and then we thought, oh wow, there's a fan base. There's this huge scene for this. It was kind of amazing and eye-opening, and now we're really into it more than it's still fun, but now we're serious about it now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say, you know, here it is. It's a decade. I would say it's a decade. Really, it's been a decade since this style of music has really kind of since it started, I guess, pretty much. And here we are, 2020, and it's like it's grown so much. Like it's everywhere. It's like seeping into all the facets of society now. And there's so many artists out there that are contributing to the sound, and it's just amazing to see that like everybody is really embracing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's really exciting, and it's so much talent out there that it's just brilliant.
Exactly right. What would you say is your favorite album/EP that you've ever worked on?
I think our first album, mostly because it was, like I said, it was just us getting together to just be silly and have fun. And when I say silly, I mean that when I work, because I still do production work for a lot of EDM acts, house music acts, a lot of that more mainstream electronic music. There's a lot of pressure to be very cutting edge. There's a lot of pressure to just be the next new, different. With this scene, it's just about making fun music or beautiful music. There's no pressure to compete. It's just, what beauty can you make? And that's why when we got together to make that first album, it was just like a bunch of kids just playing together. It was a lot of fun. I'll definitely remember that one as my favorite album.
Yeah, that first album, you're right. It really was like a kind of beautiful opening to where you guys have gone since then. You know what I mean? Like this kind of sound that you've built into where it is. I mean, just playing around and having little ideas here and there that are heavily influenced by, the decade that had passed years and years ago, the 80s decade, but really kind of pushing it all to the forefront and really kind of being very, I guess you could say, experimental with a lot of things, but then also showing a lot of love to what came before. I think it had a really nice medium with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to show.
What was the drive behind getting you into making music?
Well, I would say when I was a kid, I was really into piano. And I remember being really very little. I think I was like 6 years old and I wanted to learn. And I just loved the sound of the piano. And it was during that time also that my dad and my cousins were really into MTV. And this was the 80s. And I would sit there and just watch just nonstop MTV with them. And they loved it. And I loved it too. And then I remember seeing Prince and Michael Jackson and Madonna and just all the 80s standouts, And I thought, okay, I know how to play piano and I love what I'm looking at. I want to make electronic music. And that just pushed me to just start producing. And then at 12 years old is when I started my first synth pop band. And that was during a time, without dating myself in any way, that was during a time where synth pop is already dead. And so I was kind of just starting a band that nobody was really going to listen to at the time. And there was no synthwave scene at that time either. But it was definitely knowing how to play piano and lots of MTV that pushed me into making music.
Oh, well, knowing how to play piano, a lot of MTV. I mean, that's a pretty good winning combination right there. You know what I mean? Having that, MTV. I miss MTV. I do. I miss what MTV was. You know what I mean? Like discovering music through MTV. I miss those days. You know what I mean? Like some really great artists, some really great things that you experience through that channel. Just, what is it now? All reality shows? I mean, kind of angry that we don't have the music television anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty disheartening because MTV is now all reality shows. You're right. It's cool though that I don't think a lot of us are lucky enough, but I'm lucky enough to have the MTV Classic station. And so I'll tune in and it's a lot of fun. Like I'll actually just leave it on in the house while I do things. And it's like, you could see all the old videos and I even see some 80s music I've never heard before sometimes. I'm like, whoa! So it's MTV Classic, get it if you can. It's fun.
MTV Classic. Okay, well I'll definitely have to check that out. So with playing piano, like, what was that like? Was it, was it like being classically trained? Like, what was that like playing piano?
Originally, I remember I wanted to be classically trained. I don't know where I got the inclination to want to play piano, but because I was so little, but I remember thinking, I want to be a musician. I want to play something. And then with the whole MTV thing, I was taking classical lessons halfway through. So I took lessons for about 10 years. So within the 5 years, I realized that, I wanted to learn more on how to write. And then I switched my gears from learning how to be more of a pianist and more of a songwriter. And that's when I started learning how to make melodies and create more. And so it's half classical. And then the rest was more just trying to be a writer.
Right, like trying to be a songwriter. It's really taking you down some really amazing roads. I mean, you can really hear it, you know what I mean? You can really hear that, that attention to detail in the music too that you guys have put out. Like you can really hear that. Songwriting, it's like there's really no roadmap on that one. You know what I mean? It's pretty much how you feel in that moment in time. Like you're just kind of just doing what comes naturally. And getting your thoughts and ideas out to the world, no matter how big or small they may be.
Yeah. Songwriting there's no one way to do it. I find myself songwriting in so many different ways. So there's not even really one way to do it. And that's what I love about that.
So to everybody out there, if you're songwriting, you know what I mean? Don't think that you have to go by an idea that has came before, or you have to follow some roadmap. Just get out there and get your ideas out. It doesn't matter how crazy they may be. It's out-of-the-box thinking for some of the greatest songs that are out there today. It's that out-of-the-box thinking that makes things happen that are amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I love about it.
What are you looking forward to accomplishing the most moving forward?
I am hoping to, I mean, honestly, I really would love to find my music in a blockbuster film. Like I said, I've heard my music in independent films, and that's nice, but I would love something even bigger. I would also love to hear my music in a national commercial. That would be amazing. The reason why these are my sites is because as we really haven't figured out as a band how to do anything but write and record music and make music videos and put that out. Performance, we have to turn down gigs because we just don't really know how we're going to do it. We're all over the place. Thought Beings, the members, we're not all in Northern California. So it's more of we just want to hear our music get more exposure. And I think a blockbuster movie would be a dream of mine.
Which is pretty awesome because, success, it's like what you choose to make of it. Where you want to see your stuff go, that's all up to you. It's like some people, some artists are like, the next logical step is I'm going to play live, I'm going to get out from behind the producing side. I'm going to start touring. Some artists are like, you know what, I want to just keep putting out releases because that's what I enjoy. That's what I feel. You know what I mean? That's how I feel comfortable getting my stuff out into the world, but for you guys, like all being in different areas, I'm sure, if you were going to play live shows, there'd be a lot of coordination involved, with getting everybody together to do that. But yeah, I think having your music in a blockbuster movie would be freaking amazing. I would love to be able to go to the theater and see an amazing blockbuster film and then go, oh shit, I know who wrote this song. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah, that would be a dream. It's actually been a pretty long dream for me for that one. I've wanted to. I'm getting closer and closer.
Well, you know what? It will happen. I know it will happen because you want it to happen, because you're going to will it into reality. I know it will. And sooner rather than later, I'm sure, because you guys always look like you guys are working pretty hard. With your releases, when I see the releases come out that you guys put out in Bandcamp and stuff like that and into the world, mm-hmm. They're always they have this really awesome attention to detail. You guys are really thoughtful when you put it all together. So I know that getting into a movie is definitely going to be the next logical, awesome step for you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to will it into existence, right?
That's exactly. Will it into existence. That's what I was going to say.
There you go. I just realized that too. I'm like, oh, that's the saying. There we go.
Exactly. Will it into existence. To everybody out there, if you want something amazing to happen for yourself, doesn't matter what it is, just will it into existence. Make it happen. Live it. Be it right now. And if you work hard at it, you will get it to where it needs to be.
And that's the truth.
What positive message would you give your fans out there?
I believe that humanity was born. We were born for love, and we were born for revolution. And I think now is the time to look into ourselves and embrace what we know is right. These are really strange times. These are revolutionary times. And one thing I'm always trying to remember is that a revolution without dancing is not a revolution worth having, which means the end result of what we're fighting for is something that should bring joy to many. And that's what I want us to focus on as a human race, is love. We can have the revolution, but don't forget the love.
Wise words right there. Wise words. Have a revolution, but don't forget the love. That's very important. You know what I mean? What you're fighting for.
Yeah.
At the end of it, it's going to, even though it's tough times, everything we're fighting for in the world right now, yes, it's really tough when we're in the thick of it. But at the end of it, we're going to come through the other side. It will eventually end. It will eventually, great things will come of it. Yes. And we will all be dancing in the streets when this is all through. I know that. That I do know. And to everybody out there, don't ever lose sight of that with the things that you're fighting for.
Exactly.
So to everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in today to watch this interview. Thank you to Thought Beings for being here and having this conversation. To everybody out there, if you like this interview, be sure to like and subscribe to our Fiend YouTube channel, as we have many more awesome artist interviews on the way, just like this one. So you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you soon.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Yes, it was. It was definitely a great interview. I am a huge fan of your music, and everybody out there, a lot of other people that I know are huge fans of your music. And I am looking forward to the next release you guys put out, and I will be looking forward to seeing your music in a blockbuster movie very soon.
Thank you so much. You take care.